Why, hello there. Looking for an African war elephant from Victrix? You came to the right place. So this is the African war elephant. Now, this can actually be three different things. It can be Carthaginian, or it can be Persian, or it can be Roman, or it can be all sorts of stuff. And should we do the elephant first, then talk about the actual figures? Right, so here we have the African war elephant. It's a happy little chappy, isn't he? He's great. Just like the one on Greatest Showman. We need a guy in a top hat. I think there's a guy in a top hat in the French Resistance box. So, is it French or the Western fighters? We're bound to find a top hat somewhere, so we'll have a character sat on top with a top hat on, which would be very good. So these are the African war elephants. We have a Republican Roman shield and Greek shield. Imperial Romans didn't really use elephants. They used elephants for moving stuff. They didn't use elephants in war, did they?
That's dumb, you can't control them. Yeah,
so they used them to move stuff. I mean, bear in mind, Rome had the Romans had steam power, right? They had the technology, they understood the technology. Oh, some people did. But they never employed it to anything. They built railways. There were actually railways in Rome. But they didn't use steam power. They used people to pull things everywhere, right? Because Rome had like a third of the population were slaves. And when you're a third of your population slaves, you don't need to advance in technology, do you?
No.
I think they did use a steam turbine in Spain. I think there was a mill or something in Spain that they used to pump the water back up to the top. Some sort of pumping system with turbines moving to pump water. But other than that, I don't think they really deployed it in any way. I think the first proper steam machine was the French used it in the 1700s. And it was an artillery tractor to pull really big heavy French guns. But anyway, that's it. How did we get onto steam power?
I know.
Elephants, right. Elephants. I suppose elephants would be useful to pull trains.
That was slow as hell.
And elephants can be pretty fast when they're annoyed with you.
Yeah, that's when they run off.
No, they tend to run towards you, and when they're running towards you, you have to run because they'll trample you. You know, they're quite vicious creatures. Anyway, these are the elephants. We have. This is the defensive box for the top, as illustrated on there, and we have some trunks and stuff. It's an elephant. What can we really say about elephants? I mean, it's a shame that woolly mammoths weren't around, because they would have been more useful, because they had the big curvy tusks down to the ground, and they could have knocked troops down with their huge tusks.
Yeah, there's not much to say about that, sprue. Yeah,
there's not. I'm sorry. But they do look cute, and they look like they go together quite easily. I think
it cast it a lot better than some things.
I'm trying to think how they go together. We've got three sides. Are these duplicates?
No, they're not.
Right. So
one side. They have to go specifically.
Right.
On different ones because the mouths.
Okay. Right. So that's that then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you put the tusks on. Not
okay.
Tusks, the thing they get water up from.
I'm sure we will be able to work this out.
And make noises from.
Yeah, they make a sort of elephant sound. Yeah, I'll let you do all the sound effects. So now we go into the slightly more interesting bit, which is the sprue. So we have a guy who is probably going to have difficulty in later life when he decides to have kids. And we have these guys here. So we have two Republican Roman guys manning the elephant. And we have two Persians, Numidians, Greeks without armour, whatever you want them to be. They're in sort of sackcloth, so anything you want them to be, really. Then we get two Greek officers. They could also be used as Persians as well, because half of Persia was Greek, so they used lamella armour as well. They, use the same sort of stuff. Then we have, and of course the Carthaginians, Greeks. Then we have the Carthaginian helmet, and we have the Is that Numidian helmet or Persian helmet? This is a sort of Persian-y helmet.
Yeah.
That's an Opitos helmet there. That's quite nice. And the Republican Roman helmets. So that'll be for the Persians. Not Persians,
They've tried to fit in a lot of eras.
They have. Well, not just eras, like factions.
Yeah,
sort of what you can use it for. I'm sure with a bit of modification you could use it for all sorts of stuff. We're using them as Persians. So we're going to be using these bodies and possibly some of these later on as well, because they did have that sort of stuff. And it won't really take much to modify it into a Persian era elephant, because we're doing Greeks and Persians, so it kind of fits.
Yeah.
Right, so any more comments?
That's bad, isn't it?
There is a fallacy, you know.
What?
A fallacy, something that's not true.
Oh.
That the ancient insert name here who had elephants, used to have a big spiky thing, and if the elephant went berserk, you hammered it through the head. I used to get told that at gaming shows all the time, when they were having games with elephants. And it turns out it's not true. They never actually did that. Apart from anything else, you can't get a spike through the back of an elephant's head anyway. But they never used to kill the elephants like that.
It's incredibly hard to kill an elephant.
Yes.
Hence why the Spartans just made sure they fell off a cliff.
Push them up. Well, yeah, that's a good film. But pushing off a cliff is the most effective way to deal with elephants.
Yeah. Arrows don't go through them.
Yeah, arrows aren't going to do anything to an elephant. I mean, it may die eventually if you hit it with enough arrows, and you wait long enough.
I've seen Lord of the Rings.
Of course, they're Oliphants. They're like 10 times bigger than an elephant. They're way bigger than an elephant. No, they're huge things.
Same height.
Way bigger. Same height, yes. And they have the huge mammoth tusks, which is weird because those tusks are for clearing snow, right? So how did the Haradrim, who live in the desert, evolve with a race of elephants that had tusks for clearing snow? And also the elephants don't have a fur.
Maybe next door there's a snow tribe and they murdered them.
Well, no, you mean you go further over and you've basically got Zulus. It's like the African veldt, the further you go from the Haradrim, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you've got the sea. And you're not going to find elephants in the sea. So how did they come around to having that particular type of elephant? Because that particular Oliphant would not have evolved in that region.
Not a clue. Oh well.
Yeah, it's one of those questions that unfortunately Tolkien's gone and we can't ask him. I'm sure he had a reason, some sort, probably magic, right? Or maybe Melkor did it as a joke, like a practical joke or something, like I'm going to put Oliphants there. Because, you know, the Melkor would do that sort of thing, he was dodgy. Sorry, I'm just...
Yeah, you're babbling on now.
I'm babbling now, yeah. I just worry about these things.
You worry about
these are the sort of things that keep me awake at night. I often lay in bed at night and go, how did the Haradrim have those elephants? Just think things like that, yeah. Right, so that's basically the elephant. Again, there's not a huge amount to say about it. If I'd have assembled one, you'd be able to look at one and see how it goes together and everything, but I haven't.
No, they're mine.
They're yours, and you're dealing with them, and it's not my problem. But the good thing is because we're not using, at this moment, you're making them as Numidians, so we don't have to worry about... we get spare armour, which is cool. So that's it. That's everything.
So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of the African war elephant.
Yep.
That's everything from me.
And everything from him. Goodbye.
See ya.